much for tuning in today. Today I'm doing a Real Talk series video. I haven't done one in a really long time, and I just figured it was about time for me to do one. And this is actually a video that I've been meaning to do for quite some time, and I just never can get around to it. I don't know, the timing is just never right. Every time I try to do this video, something always happens, or my battery dies, or I don't know, just various things happen every time I try to film this video. And I'm sorry if there's a little bit of background noise. You guys, I have my window open in the bedroom today, which is where I'm at, and it's a really nice day, so I'm letting the breeze in and everything. But yeah, so I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys today about my story with migraines. A lot of you guys probably don't know. I don't really talk about it on my channel. I don't really vlog about it or anything like that. So there really is no reason that you guys would know unless you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, or I personally talk to you all the time. You would never know that I deal with migraines all the time. A few of my friends here on YouTube, people that I talk to like on a daily basis, they kind of know about it because I've talked about it before, but I don't really go around, explaining to the world about my migraines because, one, I'm just not that type of person, and two, it's not really going to help me by me talking about it constantly. But I did want to do this video because a lot of people do suffer from migraines. There's a lot of things that I have found that help me get through them, and more than anything, I want to kind of clear up a lot of things that people think are true about migraines that really aren't, and just kind of a video to give you guys some more information about it. And actually, next month in June is Migraine Awareness Month, so it's going to be a big month for people that are trying to raise awareness for migraines and chronic migraines. And yeah, so next month of June is actually Migraine Awareness Month, so this is kind of a really good timing for this video. So basically, let me kind of go into my personal story with migraines. And you guys, I'm going to kind of tell you beforehand, there is chronic migraines, which are migraines that I forget how many days it is, but you get them like either on a daily basis, every other day. You're having more than the usual amount of headaches per month. And then there's just people that get migraines on a pretty often basis like I do. So don't quote me on what chronic migraine is and just migraine, because personally I don't suffer from chronic migraine, so I'm not as familiar with it. But if you just flat out get migraines all the time, pretty often, you're probably suffering from either chronic migraines or just migraines. And my personal story with migraines, I don't even really remember when they started. I probably could have had them as a kid, and I just didn't know that it was a migraine. I thought maybe it was just a really bad headache. I just don't really remember when it started. I think when I was a teenager, I remember I got more and more headaches. After I had my period, after 16, I started getting more recurrent headaches. Now, everybody gets a headache every now and then. You get that, little bit of a pounding in your head. You take something, you lay down, and you feel better. Migraines are not like that at all. There is no, I take something, I lay down, and I just wake up and I feel better. And it's definitely not a headache. There's a big difference, and this is something I want to reiterate more than anything, is that headaches and migraines are two totally different things. You can have a headache, it's not a migraine. And I hate when there's people, especially if it's a friend of mine, they don't understand. And when I say, I've got a migraine, they're like, oh, I had a headache too. No. A headache and a migraine are two totally different things. A headache is usually on both sides of your head. You usually have some pressure here in your head. Sometimes you could have a sinus headache that's more around your nose area and your eye area. You could have a tension headache sometimes that's kind of towards the back of your head, or yeah, But a migraine headache usually only occurs on one side of your head at a time. It never usually occurs on both. If it occurs on both, it's not a migraine, it's a headache. It's usually unilateral, which is what they call it, on one side of your head or the other. It's usually accompanied by light sensitivity, meaning, you know, you go out, the sun is like blinding you, every tiny little bit of light is blinding you. Hearing things, blurry vision, feeling sick, feeling nauseous, feeling dizzy, vertigo, sensitivity to smells and noises and lights. And some people smell things before they get a migraine. Some people say they smell onions. Other people say they smell another certain smell before they get their migraine. So migraines and headaches are two totally different things. You usually don't get any of these kinds of symptoms with just plain headaches. So I think what started out for me was I thought that I was just kind of having really bad headaches. You know, it was usually on one side or the other, I remember that, but I just didn't really think about it being migraines. Which is kind of funny because a lot of people in my family suffer from migraines. It's very hereditary. My mom doesn't have it, but I have like several aunts who do. I have cousins who do. I don't know about like grandparent-wise. I don't think my grandma does. I don't know about people before her or not. So it definitely does run on both sides of my family, and a lot of other people I know have migraines. So it is hereditary, and hence I must have gotten that gene. So I just don't really remember much about early on. I just remember that when I was probably in my early 20s, I started taking Excedrin migraine because I was getting like really bad headaches. Like I felt like I needed to vomit when I had these headaches. I felt really just sick and like nauseous. My head was hurting so bad, it was pounding. And I started taking Excedrin migraine, which worked really great for quite some time for me. I took it for several years, and it worked really great. I would take it, I would immediately feel some kind of relief like after a couple hours, and usually I would take it and fall asleep, and then I'd wake up and I'd be fine. Probably when I started getting into my later 20s, probably within like the last, I'd say 4 or 5 years, I started getting the migraines still, but it seemed like they were getting worse. I was getting really nauseous every time I got a migraine. I was getting a lot of dizziness. I just was really feeling really bad every time I had a migraine, and I also started connecting my migraines with my periods. So I kind of had this impression that possibly it was occurring from my cycle, and that's kind of where the migraines were coming from. And so I, was still taking the Excedrin migraine. I was buying it and taking it, and it was making me feel really sick. It was making me literally feel really, really bad, really nauseous, like I needed to vomit, more so than usual. And I, kind of was like, maybe I shouldn't be taking this, but I kept taking it anyway. Fast forward to probably within the last 2 years, I was still taking Excedrin migraine. I would get migraines probably, at this point, I feel like I was getting them probably every week. I would get one. Sometimes I would get them several days a week. Sometimes I would get them every 2 weeks, but definitely within every 2 weeks I would at least have 2 or 3 migraines. And the Excedrin migraine, I kind of connected at that time that possibly was making my migraines worse. It was actually making me have like ice pick feeling type headache migraines inside of my head. And I mean, it was literally like somebody stabbing my head with a freaking knife or something. That's exactly what it felt like. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna see a doctor about this, and I need to do something. So I went to see my primary care physician, and I told her about it. I didn't have any kind of deficiencies or nothing, like no thyroid problems, nothing that would really cause my migraines. And I told her about it. Kind of seemed like it was occurring around my period. She didn't really seem overly concerned, and she prescribed me Powershot, which is kind of like a pain relief pill. And it, you know, I don't know, it really didn't help me. It made me feel bad. It just didn't really help with the pain. I mean, maybe very, very slightly, but definitely not anything that really, really, truly helped. So that didn't really work out. So I thought, okay, this isn't working. Back to the Excedrin migraine. Started taking that again, and I got my first ocular migraine like sometime last year. I thought I was literally gonna die. I started seeing swirlies. I started, you know, my peripheral vision was like gone. Everything was waving around. I mean, if you've never had an ocular migraine, you have no idea. But your vision literally becomes cloudy, blurry, you're seeing stuff. I mean, people that are driving and they have an ocular migraine, they have to actually stop the car. They can't drive. You cannot see. You're like, there's actually spots from your vision that are missing. Like, you cannot see anything there. It's just like a blur. And so it's very, very scary. It really scared the crap out of me. I didn't know what was going on. And when I finally did leave work, because I was at work when it happened, I was able to ask a doctor who told me it was probably an ocular migraine, that it would pass. And it actually did pass within about 20-30 minutes. I noticed it was gone, and it didn't come back again. It did happen again once, months later, but that was kind of it. I actually haven't had one since then. I tried not to let myself get too stressed out so it doesn't happen again. And yeah, so that's kind of that. So I finally was trying to get in touch with a neurologist. I was having a lot of trouble with my doctor, sending over my papers and getting referred. And in that time, I did some research on my own, and I found out that Excedrin migraine actually causes a lot of people to develop chronic migraines, and actually makes your migraines, can make your migraines worse. Can make you vomit. It can just really, really, really mess you up. And so I quit taking Excedrin migraine. I have not taken it since probably about 6 months now. I have not took it. I started taking Advil migraine, which is just Advil, the regular Advil. I think it's like 200 milligrams a pill of ibuprofen. It's solubilized, so it actually processes quicker into your body when you take it. It also has potassium, which I think potassium kind of helps with migraines and stuff like that, kind of speeding up the process. And actually that's been working pretty well for me. It doesn't make me sick, it doesn't make me feel bad, it doesn't make them any worse. It's actually about the only thing that has really helped. I did go see when I went to the gynecologist last time. I told her about my cycles and my migraines, and she told me that, you know, why didn't I just get prescribed Imitrex for the first time when I went to my primary care physician. I said, I don't know. So she prescribed me some. Still really no answer other than it was probably somehow related, and there's really not much they can do about it, other than see if after I get pregnant one day, if they just go away or stop. That's about it. Really, I didn't get any answers, and I just really don't know, I mean, what causes it. I guess it's just hereditary. So she prescribed me Imitrex 25 milligram, and I started taking that when I did, and it does work, but Imitrex you have to take every 2 hours. And so you literally have to keep taking it every 2 hours until it goes away, and mine can last for like up to 3 days. I've actually had them 3 days in a row before, and by the 3rd day I'm like ready to just go postal. I'm like, go away. And it really didn't really help. I mean, it helped, but it's so, you know, hectic having to keep taking it every 2 hours constantly, and so I just kind of went back to using Advil migraine again. But I just want you guys to know, more than anything, that if you know somebody that deals with migraines, you have to be really patient with these people. The only thing that literally helps when you have a migraine is to take something, you know, try to eat something, which is like damn near impossible because you feel so bad, you feel like vomiting. and laying in a dark room and trying to sleep it off for as long as it takes. I mean, that's all you want to do, is go in a dark, quiet, cool room, and that's it. Like, that's all you can possibly think about to do. So be patient with them, you know, when they miss an event, when they can't come out somewhere, when they don't feel like doing anything, when they feel sick, when they just don't feel good at all. Be patient with them, because it's not something that we wish we had. It's not something we enjoy having. It's horrible and it sucks, and you know, just, you need to really be patient with people. You know, we don't choose it. As someone that gets migraines like several times a month, it sucks. There's times when 3-4 days in a row I'm down for the count, and my husband, you know, he's the one picking up the slack. He's the one washing the dishes because I feel sick. He's the one that has to miss going somewhere because he stays home with me. And it's not easy, but it's, you know, you gotta find somebody that's gonna realize that you're worth caring about like that. And you know, if somebody really loves you, they're gonna understand, they're gonna care. But it's really important to just kind of be aware, know what it is that happens. You know, these people, I mean, they're having horrible symptoms from these migraines. You have to be really understanding. I know how it is. It sucks. You just literally feel sick. You would rather just stand in front of a train sometimes than to actually keep having this migraine. And most people do get them for several days on end, and it just really, frankly, sucks. So yeah, I just kind of want to share my story with you guys. So basically, what I usually do when I get a migraine is I just take my Advil migraine as soon as I know I'm probably about to have one. I try to drink plenty of water. Drinking water really helps kind of keep your blood flowing and the oxygen in your blood, and so I like to try to drink a lot of water. Using an ice pack sometimes, like, you know, on your head can kind of help, or just kind of pressing it up against your temple or wherever it is you're getting your migraine at the time. And usually just sleeping, just trying to sleep it off, trying to not stress out, and just lay down when I can is probably the best advice I have to give to anyone suffering from migraines. It's about the only thing that I really know that can help. So I hope this video gave you guys a little bit more information, and if you guys have any questions or want me to answer any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll do my very best. Everybody's got a different story, everybody's got a different experience with migraines. This is just my experience, and you know, I just hope that some of this may be helpful to you. So if you notice that you're having any of these symptoms along with the head pain, you might be suffering from migraines, and it's time to go try to see a neurologist, or try to bring it up to a doctor that you know is going to care, that you know is going to, you know, make an effort, a neurologist, or if your family doctor truly is like a great doctor, really cares, bring it up to them, see what they can do, or if they can point you in the right direction and get you some help, because it frankly just really sucks. And like I said, next month is Migraine Awareness Month, so definitely if you know somebody suffers with migraines, give them some extra love in that month, because they really deserve it. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I will be doing more videos coming up soon. And this is the reason why a lot of times I don't get to do videos as often as I like, because of my migraines. Sometimes I can't film. There's times when I just cannot film a video because I feel so horrible. So yeah, it really sucks. But I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.